We are so blessed to have such an amazing singer. An amazing music ministry just with two people, Jack and Ori. I can't believe it. Excellent, excellent, excellent. We're so grateful, so blessed, so lucky. I feel like I'm flying over the rainbow every Sunday morning. I get to join with you guys. We get to experience that amazing promise of peace that is inherent in the universe. Last week I posed a question. What do I do now? Now that I know about the ultimate reality of who I am, now that there's been a resurrection occurred, what do I do now? Does anybody remember the answer? No? Oh my God, I'm not doing my job. I'm listening to the voice, live, love. And I do that by listening to the voice for God. And change the station. Remember that? Now we're getting there. I just need it. It's coming back. That's what happens every morning. You wake up and you go, I got to tune in. I got to remember who I am. I have to remember I was created by a loving God in an inherently peaceful and beautiful universe. And all the ugliness that appears here is of my own creation. It is of my own decision to be separate, to think I'm separate. You can't really be separate, but to think I'm separate and to act that way. And so now what do? I listen for the voice for God. I change the station in my head and in my heart. And then we take the next step as we hold that vision for everyone. For as in giving it away, it's the only way I remember that divine presence within. And that's my soul's purpose. I think that question that Scott asked was the most important question we can ask. What is my soul's purpose? And everyone will receive the same answer, but in a way you can understand it. You will receive the answer that's perfect for you. And the answer that I received this morning, or this week, to bring to you this morning, was hold a vision of peace. One day at a time. One step at a time. Don't try to make it all happen yourself. Hold that vision of peace one day at a time by connecting with those around you. Connection is the most important thing that we crave, that we need as human beings, as spiritual beings, as souls. We want to connect with the whole because we are connected. And the illusion of separation has brought us to a place where we act out of this sense of being disconnected from one another. If the third principle of unity holds true, that we manifest our experience by the activity of our thinking, then we have the power to manifest a world of peace. It doesn't matter what's going on out there. It only matters what's going on in you. And you find very quickly that there are many, many, many people who are feeling the same way, who are vibrating in the same frequency. You'll find actually that the natural state of the universe is peace, not conflict. And you will not only dwell there, you will bring that experience to others. I think the most important thing is holding a vision of a powerfully transformed world and one that works for everyone. Famous quote. A world that, think about that for a second. Think about that, you guys. A world that works for everyone. In the dynamic laws of prosperity, Edwin Gaines says, one of the things that occurs in prosperity is you have relationships that work all the time. They are not work, they work for you. They work in the spirit of a living, loving God, of a living, loving consciousness. And they work for you all the time. Isn't that amazing? Relationships that work all the time leads to a world that works for everyone. It's really a vision that I not only hold in my mind, I experience every day in my everyday living. Moment by moment, day by day, I accept a world that reflects the love of God and not the mistakes that we've made. And I want to live in that experience. I want to extend, by example, through every thought, every word, every action, that vision. Because conflict cannot survive without our participation. But what has happened is we've become complacent. The disenfranchised have become complacent in a way that you feel disempowered. You feel like you have no power in this world. It's because you're not using your real power. You're giving the power away. Don't give it away. Don't participate in the conflict. Create peace instead. Go in the opposite direction and be an example by holding a vision that is different. Peace cannot be achieved through violence, and it can also not be achieved through angry thoughts towards the violent people. It can only be attained through understanding. Ralph Waldo Emerson. No. Ralph Waldo Emerson. I got the Bruce O'Hara disease. Dyslexia is a sign of creativity. I always say that, whatever it is. It's a sign of creativity. Forgetfulness, sign of creativity. Confusion, sign of creativity.
I'm so creative.
And really. Overweight, sign of creativity. Of course, overweight people are smarter and more creative. I love it. So whatever is your experience, just love it. Be who you are in a perfect, accepting, loving attitude of yourself. Don't try to change yourself. You're perfect just the way you are, and you're progressing. So hold a vision of yourself that is worthy of God's vision of you. Hold a vision of yourself that's worthy of the truth of who you are. And attempt to understand that all the violence in this world, all the things that are happening that we don't like, are a result of misunderstanding who we are. That's all it is misunderstanding ourselves. So I want to be free of that misunderstanding, and I want to tap into who I really am. And I want to choose my thoughts carefully. I want to keep what brings me peace and focus on that and hold a vision of that. That's all. Let's focus on our vision of peace today. Let's focus on what brings us peace and release all the thoughts that bring us suffering. Let us release all of that and know that our happiness and a world that works for everyone is just a thought away. Your mission as a soul who's called to remember its divine nature, your mission as that soul here on earth is to remind everyone that it's just a thought away. Is to remind everyone that they too can remember who they are and hold that vision in their heart on a daily basis. On a moment-by-moment basis, we are holding a vision of a powerfully transformed world and one that works for everyone. Black elk. I was going to save this for Earth Day, which is next week, but I couldn't resist. Black Elk says, peace comes from within the souls of men when they realize what? Their oneness with the universe, with everything. And I don't just mean the stars and the ocean and the animals and nature and the environment, but I mean all the people that make up our world as well. They're part of this universe. Learning to understand our oneness with the universe. And we realize it is really everywhere and it is within each and every one of us. And some of us forget at times, and there are those who have forgotten for a long period of time that oneness that we share. And they act out of a false sense of separation. And they don't act out of oneness. But I can't do anything about that except act out of oneness myself. And when I'm doing it myself, I'm giving you permission to do it. That's the real answer, is to give you permission to be the divine, holy self that you are, and to show up just as you are, as that self, as that divine being. I love Black Elk. That's an amazing thing. So that's where peace comes from. And your level of peace is going to be directly related to your level of trust in God. I'm being pro-summer today, by the way. I'm giving you images of sitting on the beach and meditating. Be very soon, guys, very soon. Wear the summer suit. I'm pro-summer. I'm pro-summer. Lily came down the stairs in this beautiful outfit this morning. She says, I'm pro-summer. And I said, it's going to be 35 degrees. She said, I'm going to change. Pro-summer and pro-God. Trust in God. Because why? My level of peace is directly related to my level of trust in the universe. The more you trust God, the universe, the more peace you will experience. And it's just that simple. I want to make it simple. And I want to make it actionable in your mind. If you can just say, just for today, I'm going to trust God with all things. I'm going to trust the universe. Just pick one thing in your life. It could be your relationship. It could be your job. It could be money. It could be anything. It could be your taxes. I'm going to trust God. It could be paying the rent. It could be anything. It could be big things as well. I'm going to have to trust God that the soul of our departed friends are in peace, are in heaven, and have always been. And that we are there as well. One of the things, I'm going to go back a little bit, one of the things that happened in the life of Jesus when he was being persecuted and crucified, and there were people with him who were also being crucified, he said, this day we will be in paradise. You will be in paradise with me. That signified that he was already dwelling in the truth of paradise in the most difficult situation that you could imagine. He already was dwelling in paradise. It wasn't something that's going to happen. To this day, you will dwell in paradise with me. Right now, you are in paradise with me. Let's action that through our mind, trusting in God, being in that peace, because peace of mind is our inheritance. We simply need to remember that peace is our natural state, that we are in the kingdom of heaven. We have never left. And that's a bold and radical thought, but I'm going to tell you, this is something that has become my experience, that we have never left the kingdom. Our soul has never left the kingdom. We dwell there. And our experience here needs to reflect the truth and reflect the laws of God. I'm not going to avoid the conflict. I am going to transform it, because greater is he who is in me than he who is in the world. Does anyone get the importance of this statement? There is one in you that has all power in heaven and earth. Is that the one that you are paying attention to? Or are you following after this image of yourself that you put out into the world, that you've been protecting, that you call yourself? Do you call yourself peace? Do you say, I am peace, I am love, like Scott said? Or do you say, I'm getting old, I'm getting sick, I'm dying now, I'm at the mercy of the government, whatever it might be. Be careful what you say after I am. I am that I am. I am a holy child of God. I am perfect and powerful and peaceful right here and right now. And I am the way, the truth, and the life, said our way shore. But you can say it too. It's okay. It's not blasphemous to come out and say, I am the way, the truth, and the life. We are the way, the truth, and the life. Let us dwell together in that truth, in that peace, and in that life. Because finally, the one who is within you will become the one who is also in the world. Yeah. And it's up to you now. That's all the message is in this time. Is the evolution of human consciousness has brought us to a place where we're done with gurus and idolatry and saviors and messiahs. You too have to be the light of the world because you're projecting the world that you're living in. You're manifesting the world and your experience of it through the activity of your thinking, through your mind. And so the activity of my mind wants to be coming from the one who is within me, not from the one who is in the world. We can focus on this, and we must focus on this vision. But it's not just visualizing. A vision is an active prayer. It's an active meditation. It's an action in my life. It's not just, vision is not just visualization. I want you to really get this. Vision is a feeling. My thoughts plus my feelings equal my experience. Thoughts and feelings are really the same thing. They go hand in hand. We've separated them. Someone said the longest journey is the journey from your heart to your head. That's the longest journey you'll ever take. And why should that be when they are one and the same thing? When your feelings and your thoughts cannot be separated, and yet we've tried so hard to separate them in an attempt to justify the conflict of the world. Instead of justifying it, I would much rather not participate. I can't avoid it, but I can transform it by holding a vision. By holding a vision of a peaceful world means I am in that peace now. And I hold it one day at a time. I hold that vision by being there. We also learned last week the quickest way to be somewhere is to be there now. The quickest way to get somewhere is to already be there. So let us dwell in that peace together. And individually. Let us dwell there every day. No matter what we see, let us be the peace that people are looking for, that we seek. We are that which we have been seeking. You go all the way around the world and you finally realize you come back to yourself. It's so amazing that peace is with us right now. It's within us. It is us. It's our natural state. Dwell on that this week. Hold that vision. Meditate on the peace that is within you. One day at a time, you will learn to grow and grow in a deeper and deeper and deeper peace. The more you trust in the universe, in God, the greater your experience of peace will be. Give it to God. I don't care what it is. Give it away. Give it to God. They used to say, give it to God and then get moving. Like put feet to your faith. So you don't just give it and then lock yourself in your room and hope something great happens. Hope a miracle happens. No, you are bold to walk out into the world and be the light of this world. You're bold enough to stand up and be the blessing that you're looking for. So I want you this week to be blessed, my friends, and be a blessing and help bring this world of peace to this world that we think is in conflict. Please do that with me this week, because I hold a vision of a powerfully transformed world, one that works for everyone. And that includes you, and you, and you. Thank you. I love you so much. Be a blessing.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass. And visit us online at www.unityoncapecod.org.